Hey guys, this is Marley Hatsune. I'm coming back with part 2 of Ben Drowned, because I left you off on a little bit of a cliffhanger of sorts, I guess. We ended with one of the iconic phrases, "You've come with a terrible fate." Let me retry that. "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" And yeah. So we're gonna start up again with that paragraph, because I didn't actually finish out the paragraph. I just stopped on the iconic phrase. Cause I'm mean. Ha 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 ha. You better deal with it, cause that's me. Anyway, let's hit started again. As the death screen neared its end, it began to chug, as if the cartridge was trying to process a lot of something. When the screen came to, it was the same scene as the first 3 times, except this time Link was lying on the ground, dead, in a position I had never seen in the game before. His head tilted towards the camera, with the Skull Kid floating above him. I couldn't move, I couldn't press any buttons. All I could do was just stare at Link's dead body. After around 30 seconds of this, the game simply fades out with the message, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" before kicking you out to the title screen. Upon getting back to the title screen and starting again, I noticed my save file was no longer there. Instead of Link, it was replaced with Your Turn. Your Turn had 3 hearts, no masks, and no items. I selected Your Turn, and immediately when I did, I was returned to the clock tower rooftop scene of my Link dead and the Skull Kid hovering over, with the Skull Kids laughing, looping, again and again. I quickly hit the reset button, and when the game booted up again, there was one more save file added, below Your Turn, entitled Ben. Ben's save file, right back where it was before I deleted it, at the Stone Tower Temple with the moon almost crashing. I turned the game off at this point. I'm not superstitious, but this is way too fucked up, even for me. I haven't played it at all today. Hell, I didn't even get any sleep last night. I kept hearing the reverse song of healing music in my head, just remembering the sense of dread I felt exploring Clocktown. I drove back to the old man's house today to ask him some questions with a buddy of mine. No way I was going there alone. Only to find that there was this for sale sign in front yard. When I rang the door, no one was home. So now, I'm back here writing down the rest of my thoughts and recording what happened. Sorry if some of this has grammatical errors and whatnot. I'm running on no sleep here. I'm terrified of this game, even more so now that I've relived it a second time writing this all down. But I feel like there's still more to it than meets the eye, and I don't know that there's something calling me to investigate this further. I think Ben is something in this equation, but I don't know what. If I could get a hold of the old man, I would be able to find some answers. I need another day or so to recuperate before tackling this game again. It's already taken a toll on my sanity, I feel like. But next time I do this, I'm going to be recording my footage all the way through. The idea to record only came to me towards the end, so you see the last few minutes of what I saw, including the Skull Kid and the Elegy statue. But it's on YouTube here. I'm going to stay in this thread for a little while longer before I fall asleep to answer any questions you guys might have. Hopefully listen to your ideas or theories to help me shed some light into this. Or maybe the things I should try to do. I think I'm going to play Ben's file tomorrow to see what happens. Maybe I was supposed to do that all along. I don't believe in paranormal shit, but this is a little fucked up. Maybe this Ben guy has some really good hacker programmer. I don't want to think about the alternatives if he isn't. That's the end of the copy paste. I'm hoping that maybe this is some kind of running gag the developers had, that other people have gotten gag or hacked copies of this game like this. It just really scared me. Alrighty, now we're moving on to post 2, September 8th of 2010. I'm going to post what happened and link the video footage, but last night everything got too real for me. I think I'm done messing around with this. I passed out pretty much immediately after making that thread. But last night, that Elegy of Emptiness statue, I had a dream about it. I dreamed that it was following me in my dream, and that I would be minding my own business when I feel my neck hairs stand up on end. I would turn around and find that thing. That horrible, lifeless statue be staring at me with those empty eyes, right at me, merely inches away. In my dream, I remember calling it Ben, and never before had I had a dream that I could remember it so vividly. But this important thing I did is to get some sleep, I suppose. Today, putting off playing the game as long as I could, I drove back up to that neighborhood to see if the old man came back. As I expected, the car was still gone and no one was home. As I walked back to my car, the man next door mowing the grass killed the power to his lawnmower and asked me if I was looking for someone. I told him that I was looking to talk to the old man that lived there, to which he told me that what I already knew. He was moving. Trying a different avenue, I asked if the old man had any family or relatives I could talk to. I discovered that this old man had never been married, nor did he have any children or grandchildren through adoption. Starting to become worried, I asked one final question, one that I should have asked from the beginning. Who was Ben? The man's expression turned grim, and I learned that 4 doors down, around 8 years ago, on April 23rd, the man informed me that it was the same day as his anniversary. That's how he knew the specific date. There was an accident with a young boy named Ben in the neighborhood. Shortly after his parents moved, and despite any further attempts to talk to the man about getting more information, he wouldn't divulge in anything else. I went back and started playing again. I loaded the game. Immediately I jumped at the title screen when a mask flies by. The sound that played was not the normal whoosh sound. It was something more higher and pitched. Press started bracing for the worst, but just like 2 nights ago, the files Your Turn and Ben were displayed. Truth be told, I looked at the Ben file earlier. It seems to fluctuate between displaying the owl save and not. I brought up the Ben file, hesitated for a moment, noticing that the stats were not the same as they originally were 2 days ago. It seemed I had already completed the Stone Tower Temple this time. Summoning my courage, I selected it. Immediately, I was thrust into complete chaos. Sure enough, I was outside the Stone Tower Temple. That's about all that was expected. The zone itself wasn't called the Stone Tower Temple, rather stone, and immediately a dialogue box of complete gibberish that I couldn't make out greeted me. Link's body was distorted. His back was cocked violently to the side, where his posture was permanently disfigured. Link's expression was dull, almost monotonous, and he had an expression on his face that I didn't recognize before. It was a blank look, as if he was dead. As Link stood there, his body spasmed irregularly back and forth, and I examined what had become of my avatar and noticed that I had a C button item that I had never seen before. Some kind of note, but pressing it, it did nothing. Sounds played back and forth that I didn't recognize from the game, and almost demonic in nature. And there was some kind of high-pitched yip or some kind of laugh or something playing in the background. I had all of 2 minutes to take in the environment before another one of those fucking Elegy of Emptiness statues was summoned, and immediately after I was cut to the dawn of a new day on screen, except this time without the line subtext. I was a Deku stroke grabbing Clock Town. This scene would normally play after the first time we traveled back in time. Tal was what just happened? It's as if everything is... But instead of saying started over, she finished her remark with in broken text as the laugh of the Happy Mask salesman played in the background. I was put back in control of my character, but from a fucked up camera angle. I was looking from behind the door of the clock tower, watching my avatar run around as a Deku scrub. Seeing as how I really had no place to go because I couldn't see anything, I begrudgingly went inside the door. There I was greeted by the Happy Mask salesman, who simply told me, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" before the screen whited out. I was in Termina Field as human again. As my mom has not been playing the same game anymore. I was being warped around, there's no sign of day or clock or anything. I took a moment to get my bearings. As I looked around at the field, immediately I could tell this was not normal. There were no enemies, and a twisted version of the Happy Mask salesman theme was playing. I decided to run towards the woodfall before I could notice a gathering of 3 figures off to the side. One of them being Epona. As I approached them, to my horror I saw the Happy Mask salesman, the Skull Kid, and the Elegy of Emptiness statue just standing there. I figured maybe they were bugged out, but by now I told myself that I should know better. Nevertheless, I approached them carefully and found that the Skull Kid was playing some kind of idle animation on loop. Same with Epona, and the Elegy of Emptiness statue was just doing what I'd been doing all along, just standing there eerily. It was the Happy Mask salesman that scared me more profoundly than the other 2. He too was idle, wearing that shit-eating grin, but wherever I moved, his head slowly turned and followed me. I had not engaged in any dialogue with him, nor was I in combat with him, yet his head still continued to follow my movements. It reminded me of my first encounter with the Skull Kid on the top of Clock Tower. I pulled out my ocarina, to which the game played the ding sound when you were supposed to play your ocarina. and I tried a song I hadn't played yet. The Happy Mask Salesman's own song, and the song that had been playing in loop back in day 4. The Song of Healing. I finished playing the song. As I did, an ear-piercing shriek blasted on my TV. The sky immediately started flashing, and the Happy Mask Salesman twisted theme song sped up, intensifying the fear inside me, and Link exploded into flames and died. The 3 figures stayed lit up during my death screen as they watched my lifeless body burn. I can't describe you how sudden and terrifying the transition from eerie to terror it is. You're going to have to watch a video if you want to see it firsthand. That same fear that caused me to lose sleep 2 days ago started to grip me again as I was met with the text. You've met with a horrible fate, haven't you? For a 3rd time. There has to be some kind of meaning behind that. I had little time to ponder while I was immediately given another small cutscene transforming me into a Zora, and now I found myself in the Great Temple Bay. Hesitant but curious to see what the game had in store for me, I slowly made my way toward the beach, where I found Epona. I wondered why the game had decided to put her there, but was the game implying she was trying to get a drink? Unable to take the mask off, I decided that riding the steed wasn't the reason she was placed there. Suddenly I realized that Epona kept neighing in a way she was angled made it look like she was trying to signal a point in me off in the distance. It was a hunch, but I dove into the Great Bay and started swimming. Sure enough, I'd almost missed it. I found something at the bottom of the ocean. One last Elegy of Emptiness statue. I went to examine it and suddenly my Zora started doing a choking animation I've never seen a Zora do before. Which didn't even make sense because Zoras can breathe underwater. Regardless, my character choked to death and died, and again, the statue is the only thing that was highlighted by my death. I didn't respawn this time. I was booted back to the main menu as if I restarted my console. The press start screen was before me. I knew my only reason it would be to put me here is because the save files had changed again. Taking a deep breath, I pressed start, and I was right. I saw a new save file telling me about Ben. Now it made sense why the statue appeared when I tried to go to the laundry pool. The game must have anticipated how I would have tried to escape the day 4 clock town. The 2 save files told me his fate. As I suspected, Ben was dead. He had drowned. The game obviously isn't through with me. It taunts me with a new save file. It wants me to keep playing. It wants me to go further. But I'm done with this shit. I'm not touching any more of the files. This is already way too horrifying for me, and I don't even believe in paranormal. I'm just running out of explanations. Why would someone send me this message? I don't understand it. I just get too depressed thinking about this. The footage is up here for those who want to see it and try to analyze it. Maybe there's some kind of coded message in the gibberish, or something symbolic in what I went through. I'm too emotionally and mentally drained to fuck with it anymore. I'm gonna cut it here. It's at the end of post 2. So, good place to stop. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out part 1 if you haven't already. Check out my other creepypasta readings. As of right now, well, when I had this recorded, I had Eyeless Jack and Lost Silver. You can check out my animations and my other fan dubbing and stuff. Or you can check out my video game channel, Marley Hatsune Plays is the name. I've got some stuff up in there, so feel free to check out that. I guess that's about it. I am out of here.